Merry Christmas. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. This is my favorite time of the year, and I am excited to share it with you. So we're talking about family traditions, and more specifically, our family traditions and how we set boundaries so that we can be present and enjoy the things that matter the most. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this after. Maybe share in the comments or DM us your family traditions and why you love this time of year so much. We're ready now, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Sorry.
What are you talking?
I just really love just being a little awkward at the beginning of our podcast for some reason. What's
in that
my
coffee?
favorite. It's either pregnancy or age or both. I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. We're lucky that I'm laughing and not sleeping right now. That's all. I just see lots of naps in my future in the next couple of months.
Me too.
Because I've realized, I never really thought about this so much, but this is a Christmas gift. Because we're literally fifth baby, and this is the first time that I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh yeah, I've only got a couple more months where I get good sleep. So I am feeling very blessed that I realized that. And I am actually sleeping in a little bit more lately. I need to change my alarm though, don't I?
Yeah.
Because it's going off at 5 and I'm sleeping until 5:30.
Everybody.
No, it does not. It's just you.
Selfish.
Whatever. Well, I won't need an alarm very soon. So Christmas, it's Christmas, and I love this time of year. But I think I just love it for the most simplest things. And I think it's this short time of the year in which most people are in the spirit of giving. And I think that's beautiful. And a lot of people are focused on slowing down, wanting to spend time with people that matter to them, Mm-hmm. And I just think it's kind of how it should be at all times of the year. Like you should have built-in times where you slow down and you're spending ample amount of time with the people that matter the most to you and bring the most value and joy into your life. But kind of talking about Christmas or holiday traditions or flow or how like life kind of is at that time of year for us. It's nothing extravagant, right?
No.
But
it's
that's
simple.
Been intentionally designed over the years of us just getting really, really clear on what matters to us, and I think honestly, it's been through the lens of what matters to our kids too.
Yeah.
And what matters to them during Christmas is
us
simple.
Being present.
Yeah.
Us being present.
So simple.
And I think that's definitely this year, but I think the last couple of years, but I feel it more in my bones that this year will be even more so, is our level of being present. If it's playing the goofy games and me kicking the crap out of y'all at Skip Boo or Bo, however you say it.
It's true, though. You two usually win. You or Mila.
Yeah, Mila. Yeah,
she's good. I don't know if it's
watching the goofy Christmas movies, eating the sweets
Mama Bacon.
You guys have, yeah. We're kind of sloths, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's the life we built.
Yeah. I also think part of our tradition is what we do leading up to Christmas.
Yeah.
And because we believe in serving our team and our business and showing up, we also are very intentional about how we need to show up before Christmas in order to feel good about slowing down during Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So we get shit done.
Yeah.
Because we want to be able to turn phones off, not worry about social media as much, or, and just really chill.
Unplug from the matrix.
Mm-hmm. I think one of my favorite traditions is just pajama days.
Yeah.
Like we have probably more pajama days in those last couple of weeks of December than any other time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And the cozy days by the fire in December here in Arizona, then we have several overcast days, right?
Yeah.
And It's lovely living in a state that it's mostly sunny, but it also makes December kind of special and feels cozy to have your cup of coffee or eggnog. Yes, we do. Our kids actually love eggnog, not spiked.
They call it Christmas milk.
Yeah, we call that's funny because I grew up loving eggnog, and I remember with Sabella, I was like, "Oh, I got you some eggnog," and she was like, "Eggs in it? I'm not trying it." I was like, "Oh, no, this is Christmas milk."
Yeah.
Those are the things that matter the most to us. Our kids already right now have pulled out all of our favorite cookie recipes. The top one that they think of every year that they look forward to and start talking about in November is the red velvet whoopie pies.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have those ample cookie baking days like you were talking about, and those are the things. To some people, I think it would seem funny because we are in the health and wellness space as well as business coaching, but they're like, I think it's that paradigm of where they view what most people view health is that you wouldn't be a baker, or you wouldn't be making all these cookies, but there's healthy exceptions to the rule, and it's more of a tradition that brings us together as a family than anything else, Yeah.
And we don't go off of off of the fundamentals and how we live.
Yeah,
either.
we're not eating cookies all day long.
I was thinking about that the other day, not to get off subject, but it was why people get sick during November and December. And I'm like, well, it's pretty simple. It's because when you eat so much sugar, it cuts your vitamin C in half instantly. And what does vitamin C do? It works as a, defense system for you, your immune system. I think about, to your point, and how we live. We still, granted, we do eat a few more sweets than normally, but we still load up on the good stuff. Mm-hmm. We still make sure we get sunlight. We still make sure we take short walks. We might not be, running a marathon or anything or crushing it, but it's got to be part of your lifestyle. So it's like holidays isn't something like we might take a detour, but we don't go the opposite way.
Right. No, we're not like, hey, what's off
because
to
then
us?
it's not your life. It's like it was never part of your lifestyle. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I don't want to get in that rant.
Well, no. I think it's important to have that kind of discernment, during this month where there's a lot more, Christmas parties for some people. There tends to be more sugar, like you said, tends to be more alcohol. Less sunlight, less activity, sometimes less sleep.
Yeah, that's a recipe or a cocktail for sickness.
Yeah, we want to enjoy the month, not come out in January completely sick and hating the month.
So we kind of dangle the cookie, if you will, to the kids instead of the proverbial carrot and saying, hey, make sure you eat a healthy lunch, make sure we eat this, and then, hey, it's a free for all for the cookies. Go for it.
Yeah.
So. I'm just happy that we don't have, and I know for some people that's their identity or they feel obligated. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a mixture of both. Or maybe some people just absolutely, like I said, that's their identity and they super love it to schedule themselves so freaking anxiety busy for the holidays. And I'm just so glad that we don't. Holidays is about giving, and we have some things with some friends and that we're doing also. But for the most part, it's what matters most to us is being present with our kids who are always at school, and then we're at work. So it's like this is our time, to carve out and create traditions and moments and memories with them. And I feel like this year, like I said, every year seems to build, but I feel like this year is going to be probably the most present that we are because of where we are in our personal development, but also in our business.
I agree. I agree. And I think, the longer you parent, hopefully the better you get at it and the more clear you get on what matters. I said to someone earlier today that energy doesn't trump wisdom, and meaning like when we were younger parents, sure, we might have had much more energy, but being older parents, we have much more wisdom. And I would take the wisdom over the energy any day, because thanks to being healthy and all that, we can generate enough energy to be there and play with our kids and everything. But the wisdom and discernment to be able to look in your kids' eyes and know what's going to matter to them and you 5 to 10 years from now, that's huge. Mm-hmm. So, and I think for us, it could seem like silly things, but we've gotten super clear too on gift giving and what Santa is bringing and isn't, and taking time to.
Oh, I heard y'all did we're doing a secret Santa within the house.
Mila came up with that.
I was like, I just found out about that.
I know.
It's awesome.
It's cute. I know. And so now our kids are getting older and thinking of creative ways to give to
when
each
you have as
other.
many kids as us, it's I guess it's possible. It's only like 3 y'all in the house.
It's not so secret, but still will be a surprise.
Yeah.
But something I probably enjoy more than you is buying the Christmas pajamas, like a new set of Christmas pajamas every year.
That's cool.
We have fun with that too. It's the time of year in which there are these unique and just kind of obvious little things that puts a smile on everyone's face. And I think for everyone's family, you have to think about for yourself and for your kids, what are those things? What are the things that puts a smile on your face and their face? And you don't come out the other end having these regrets about how you spent the time or being super tired or super stressed during the process,
Yeah.
And it does require some healthy boundaries sometimes. And it can be hard, when you're sitting there and you're discerning, on Christmas Day, do we, after opening all the gifts and being in the pajamas and then being tired and everything, do we then make the kids get dressed and go to family's house? Or do we just take that day back for ourselves?
Well, I think we have some things planned. I think ice skating. I think we're talking about going to a Nutcracker or something like that. We'll see some lights, and then we're going up north to see some snow and probably ski. But for the most part, outside of that, I'll say it till I'm dead, is I find just being present with them and not distracted by the phones or work is going to be the most memorable thing to them.
Absolutely.
All those conversations with a 12-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 14-year-old are, you don't get those back. Like next year, they'll be different because then you're going to have a 15-year-old conversation with a 15-year-old and their mindset and what they're going on with life, and a 13 and an 8-year-old, and it just continues to evolve. So I think we take those moments for granted. So again, I'll say super happy, and it relieves the anxiety, in my opinion. So all you that are out there, like I see people so anxious around the holidays, running themselves so crazy. I'm like, if you're anxious about it, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, if you're doing it for your kids, I promise you, your kids just want you to look them in the eye and spend some time with them, whether it's watching some cartoons and some movies or playing some board games or puzzles or whatever.
Exactly.
Or baking. I love when you guys are in the kitchen baking.
I know you do.
Sit back and wait for y'all to come bring me
the first to come
the
and try it.
That's right. No, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because our Christmases have swung into different levels to where we once tried to squeeze everything in, like everything and anything. And you and I were just completely tired and then felt like we didn't maybe always give the kids the quality time that they wanted. And then last year we almost did like nothing. And by 1 week, into their Christmas break, the second week, we're like, we got to do something next year. We're like, so it's just a healthy balance of, slowing down, picking out the right things to do with your family that create really, significant memories.
Well, that's the other thing, being proactive. It's like with summer, it's the same thing with winter. Like I told you last night, I said, oh yeah, I booked a house months ago for the day after Christmas.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't know where it is. I mean, I know the vicinity of it, but I forgot what the house looks like or anything because I was so proactive just to get it done and made sure we had something scheduled. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be in our Christmas pajamas. We're going to be chilling by the fire. Yeah. And who knows, sometimes we get a little snow and that's kind of awesome, dusting those mountains behind you over there.
Yeah, and the one other thing I'll say to Christmas, because I remember growing up, because I come from, my mom and dad, they didn't come from much, so Christmases was pretty bare underneath the tree. My mom come from a single mom. Her dad died when she was 1. So things were tough. Family, when she had 6 kids, my grandma, single. And but anyway, I watched her basically, and my dad go pour, making sure we had a bunch of presents under the tree. And I know families do that because it's like they went without, so they think that that's something that has to happen. And then it's just this lineage of just putting yourself in the credit card debt to put a bunch of crap under the tree that I'm telling you, if you just put 2 or 3 things or 4 or 5 things under the tree, but it was like, oh, you want to have this mountain of presents underneath there, and then you're stressed and anxiety, and you're arguing, you're fighting, and you're snapping with your kids, as opposed to having 3 to 5 presents under the tree that actually were valuable, not from China, and like actually quality stuff, you know what I'm saying? And not stuff that's going to be broken or set aside.
Yeah.
And you won't be so anxious, and you actually will have a good time. You have quality time because you're not so burnt out and stressed out over the credit cards or fighting with your spouses because you wanted this mountain of presents. Anyway, I just think back, and I appreciate that, but looking back, realizing how much stress and debt and anxiety it caused my family. And that's why when I found you wanting to do the same thing, because you come from a similar situation, and I tried talking to you about that every year about, I'm telling you.
Well, I'll tell you what, having 4 also, well, I'll say this and then I'll say what I was thinking too. Thinking 2 things at one time.
Dangerous.
Having 4 kids with lots of things has also made me think, and then watching Christmas after Christmas, piling up the things and doing all the, last minute Amazon gifts because the piles don't look even, or, but then watching our kids not actually really play with it too.
That's what
and
I'm
having
talking
to clean
about.
out all the things.
That's what I'm saying.
6 months later that you're just like giving away too.
Accumulating stuff.
To really give things that matter. Time matters, presence matters. And there's probably just a handful of things that your kids truly want.
Trade the gifts and the stuff and the anxiety for being chilled, present, and having fun. Try it 1 year.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the other fact that this is our last year with just 4 kids. Next year, we're going to have 5. And so this, every Christmas is special for its own reason, but it's special, for our older 4 who's like, this is the last time we'll be, this size of a family and creating the memories. But the next Christmas will be special because we'll have our 5th year.
It's interesting too. It kind of ties into a lot of our podcasts, but I just thought of it. It's like, comes down to like when you actually have the finances that we could load the room up with presents to where they could even walk in the room without stumbling on presents. It's like we've dialed it down. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? But when we didn't have the money, we'd go broke to pile a bunch of presents under. Yeah. And we were all of that I said, the stress and anxiety, and I really didn't like holiday seasons because it meant a lot of doom and gloom for me. But now that we're in a position where we don't. It's kind of like when you're in a position to actually buy the fancy stuff or whatever, you're like, oh, I realize I don't want it. Yep. What's more important?
Totally.
Right.
Totally. Get clear. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. They don't deserve to live the life they desire anymore?
I guess not.
Just not on this episode. You'll skip it.